Hey, what's up everybody? It's Connie here from Geek on Your Face, and I'm sorry it's taken so long for the videos to get back on schedule, but I've had some problems with my editing software, so now I'm using Lightworks, which is infinitely more complicated right away to me than Premiere ever was, but hopefully we can still produce some good videos. We're going to be doing the last of the instant win decks today. It's going to be a Puppet Leo deck. So I decided to go with you know, the native sort of deck for it, which would be a gimmick puppet deck. And this deck is actually pretty good at summoning it. A lot of the monsters, as you might have guessed already, focused on being level 8 or making themselves level 8 or getting level 8 monsters out on the field. So this is very important for this deck because you require 3 level 8 monsters to XYZ summon Puppet Leo. And then the way he wins the duel is you every time during your main phase, instead of attacking or going into the battle phase, you can activate his effect, which places 1 destiny counter on him. When you have 3 destiny counters on him, you win the duel. Now there are a couple of ways that this deck gets countered. That could be by kind of taking away XYZ material from the card, but there is a way to put XYZ material back on the card in this deck, which we will get into in the recipe portion of the video. Now what we're going to try to do here, it doesn't work so well. A lot of times you want to put Necrogardna down and then get Necrogardna into the graveyard so that you can protect your Puppet Leo. That's what the main focus of the deck is, protecting Puppet Leo once he is on the field. It's very important job. And sorry guys, I have not been sleeping because I've been trying to focus on an editing software that I can do. So I apologize if this is pretty low energy. Beast King Barbaros is a very awesome card in this deck specifically because he stays level 8 even though he gets downgraded to 1900 attack when you don't use tributes for him. But he's still a very awesome card because he stays level 8. And now we have our second level 8 on the field. We only have 1 more to go until we can get Puppet Leo out. Now it's very important to realize that you can't have spell or trap cards on your side of the field when you activate his effect. It just won't work. So what you want to do is you want to use cards that only stay on the field to protect him like 1 turn, so that would be Compulsory Evacuation Device or Threatening Roar or something like that, something that doesn't continuously stay on the field because then you can't use his effect. So it's very important to realize that. And you also have to make sure, I think I'm running Mirror Force in this deck, you have to activate the Mirror Force before you can really do anything. So it's important to note that. Now here we're just going to wait until we can have, I think I'm going to sacrifice these 2 Necrogardnas so I can get the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare on the field, which I do indeed do right here. I could have just as easily used the other Gimmick Puppet that you see in my hand, the level 1. I forget the name of it right at the top of my head, but its effect allows you to make it the level of any Gimmick Puppet monster you already have on the field, so I could have made it a level 8 as well. Here we go, we're going to get number 40 Gimmick Puppet Leo. We're going to get him on the field as soon as I figure out, oh whoops, I still have a Mirror Force on the field, so what I need to do is I need to make him attack one of my monsters so that I can activate the Mirror Force and get it out of the way. So that was a little bit of a misplay on my part, but it's still, in the grand scheme of things, not a whole big ordeal because it just delays the win 1 turn. So he's going to summon something here that he thinks will be strong enough, but little does he know that we have Gimmick Puppet Leo coming out. Now you see I just drew card, which we're going to get into as soon as I summon it. It's a very awesome card in this deck, and I think it should probably run in this deck all the time. What it does, Card Guard, it allows you, when you summon it, it gets 1 guard counter placed on it, and it gets 300 attack for each guard counter placed on it. Now, you can take off the guard counter from that card and put it on any other card you control. So obviously you want to put that in Gimmick Puppet Leo, and a card cannot be destroyed if it has a guard counter on it. You just, anytime it would be destroyed, you just get rid of the guard counter on it. So it's very useful at keeping Puppet Leo on the field, which is obviously the biggest thing that your opponent wants to get rid of. You see here I put down Compulsory Evacuation Device after I've already activated the effect. Now that means that I can use Compulsory Evacuation Device during my next turn, and then there we go, it is going to be not there, basically. and we can get rid of something on the field. This would have been useful if he summoned a really powerful monster, and now we can still activate Gimmick Puppet of Leo's effect. So one more turn and we effectively win the duel. We have some other options here that we can do. We could have done, I'll show you, we could have done Forbidden Lance if something else had popped up. We could have done a number of other things. We could have even gotten another XYZ monster on the field. The effects of these two Gimmick Puppets effects, which we'll go into in the recipe portion. There are more important XYZ monsters that you can summon that will help you protect Puppet Leo. So keep that in mind when you do play this deck. I have made sure to actually show the recipe, the extra portion of the deck in the recipe portion, so don't worry about that. Now we'll go take a look at the recipe portion of the video. We're going to start off with Beast King Barbaros. You can almost summon set this card without tributing, but its original attack against 1900. That's not really a big thing. You won't be using his other effect all that much. You just basically want him to be an easy level 8 summon. Card Guard, we already went over its effect during the duel. Basically is an awesome way to keep Puppet Leo safe. Very, very important card in this deck, in my opinion. It's one of the most surefire ways to keep him safe. Gimmick Puppet Egghead, you can only use the effect of Gimmick Puppet Egghead once per turn. You can discard one Gimmick Puppet monster, then activate one of these effects, inflict 800 damage to your opponent, or this card's level becomes 8. Very important. Gimmick Puppet Gear Changer, this is the card that allows you to target one Gimmick Puppet monster you control, accept that card, and then this card's level becomes that one. Gimmick Puppet Nightwear, you can special summon this card from your hand, returning one face-up XYZ monster you control. You can only special one summon Gimmick Puppet Nightmare this way. Sorry if I'm mixing up my words, guys, I'm super tired, but this deck's pretty self-explanatory. Once you play it, you'll get a feel for it. Gimmick Puppet Scissor Arms, there's not much to be said about that, it's not super important. Gimmick Puppet Twilight Joker, this is very important. Whenever a Gimmick Puppet monster you control is destroyed, you can special summon this card from your hand. Necro Garden, very good at keeping your Puppet Leo safe from attacks. Very, very important card. Dark Hole helps clear the field so that if there's any strong monsters, Puppet Leo will be safe when it comes out. Double Summon, you can conduct 2 normal summon sets this turn. This is very good. You can do a lot of combos with that. Forbidden Lance, very useful once again at lowering your opponent's monster's attacks if he's going to attack you. Mystical Space Typhoon, self-explanatory. Overlay Regen, this basically gives one XYZ monster another XYZ material in case one is lost. Pot of Duality, just for some good card draw, kind of. It's just a useful card all around. Puppet Ritual, if your opponent's life points are at least 2,000 higher than yours, you can target 2 level 8 Gimmick Puppet monsters in your graveyard, special summon those targets. Very useful card. I would recommend it highly in this deck. Compulsory Evacuation Device, once again self-explanatory, as well as Mirror Force is, and also as well as Threatening Roar coming up is, all pretty self-explanatory cards. And now in the extra side of the deck we have number 15, Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder. 2 level 8 monsters up to twice per turn during main phase. You can attach one XYZ material from this card, target one special summon monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Number 40, Gimmick Puppet of Strings, basically puts one counter on each face-up card, and then at the end of your opponent's next end phase, you can destroy all the monsters with string counters on it, and inflict 500 damage for each monster that was destroyed. Gimmick Puppet Leo, you guys know his effect by now. Basically, your job in this deck is just going to be to protect him. And yeah, so that was the Gimmick Puppet Leo deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Now that my editing software is kind of taken care of, expect more videos, and yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye!